Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Okay, I think we're live this time.
It says live.
It says live now. We just did like a minute and a half where we thought we were live. Maybe we were. I have no idea.
Well, we didn't swear, so it's okay.
And even if we did swear, it wouldn't really matter because this is a podcast and it's a live YouTube show, not governed by the FCC. This is what happens when you try to fly the plane without a producer pilot here too, because Declan is double duty. He's going to be joining us from Target Field, where he's our Twins beat podcaster for the Score North Twin Show
I'm
YouTube
seeing
channel.
comments.
Check it out.
I'm seeing comments, so it looks like people are watching us right now.
Okay, so you look live. All right,
look live.
Thank you.
Okay.
Luminous grin. So, okay, before we actually go live with our Vikings takes, we'll get to some feedback Friday. We will get to Judd's camp notes and then a snake draft of the week. Let's all go to Quick Trip. Let's journey to Quick Trip and load up for the Saturday preseason opener for the Vikings here, Judd.
And the great news about that is if you do go to Quick Trip, guess what? You can get everything that you could possibly want for game day, because that's, Quick Trip is a convenience store. It's very convenient, but it's so much more. It basically cuts out a trip to the grocery store. So if you want snacks, you know what? If you want a meal, it doesn't matter. Quick Trip has that. And if you're like Phil and Declan and you like to let that tank get down to almost E and you're like, I got to get gasoline, well, Quick Trip has you covered there too. If you're watching this right now, you see all of the delicious options at Quick Trip. Quick Trip, fast, efficient, friendly, making your life as easy as possible. In fact, if you have the app, curbside pickup as well. What don't they do? I'm going to tell you right now, they do everything because they are the best. They are Quick Trip.
Amen. All right. Well, let's start with Judd's camp notes. We can sprinkle in some feedback Friday and then our snake draft of the week here. But it sounds like Kevin O'Connell has finally pulled back the curtain on the Vikings quarterback plan. He's not going to make us wait for kickoff to find out who the quarterbacks are going to be. So let's start there.
So he actually announced on Thursday that the plan is this, and it's not surprising. Sam Darnold will start. J.J. McCarthy will play second. Now, here's my guess. I think McCarthy, if this goes according to plan, I could see Darnold getting 2 series in the first quarter, and that could possibly take the quarter to its end. McCarthy playing the second and third, and then he said Jaron Hall will finish up, which to me means the fourth quarter. So Nick Mullins will not play. Nick Mullins is, how can I put this? Because he is appreciated. He is the break glass in case of emergency guy of all time right now. Yeah. And he will play in he'll probably play in the 2 remaining games. Depending on how things go with Darnold, this might be his only game. Here's the interesting thing, though. Because they're going to play Darnold, O'Connell said that he will be playing many of the regulars, which goes away from what they've done because, Kirk didn't play, first offensive line didn't play. Well, it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. The only 2 guys that O'Connell said won't play, not surprisingly, Justin Jefferson on offense. He should not play. Harrison Smith, long in the tooth on defense. He did say guys that are nicked up might not play. My guess is Christian Darrisaw does not. David Questenberry probably starts at left tackle. Brian O'Neill, I'm curious about. I think the most important thing for Darnold is getting time inside with the guards and Bradbury. But we are about to see a new Kevin O'Connell-led Vikings in which at least one preseason game, we are going to see way more regulars than we ever have in the past. And then the heavy dose of McCarthy is going to be really intriguing to watch just to see him go in game action.
Elijah says Judd's camp notes are more entertaining than actual football. Wow.
Thank you, Elijah.
Could you just like do, maybe we should do Judd's game notes where you just like raw notebook for every game. And then we just spend the entire Monday just reading through your game notes.
Here's the difference. Fans, because of practice times, right? Fans can't, they go out, but you probably don't go to every practice.
Yeah.
And so I think the difference is they rely upon Judd's camp notes for like what took place. The games they watch. So I think they're fine there. I have seen now not one but two occasions where people have sent me their own camp notes,
That's
though.
great.
In fact, I saw one guy had a pros and cons, and pro 3 was the beer stays cold on colder days.
It,
That was
when
his
it's
pro
68
to-
degrees
Yes,
instead
he's
of
like, "This is
94
great.
degrees.
It
Yeah.
stayed cold. So
Dude, yesterday and today, I think the high today is like 68 degrees.
I love it.
It's just a nice little injection of fall weather here in
I
the middle of
love it.
August.
I love it.
Oh.
Dawn, not so pleased. I think this is great.
Wait, Dawn doesn't like the fall weather?
Well, she doesn't like the fact fall is coming.
Oh.
You know,
'Cause
because
it
I'm like, this
means
feels like fall. It's great. She's like, shut up. I'm like, no.
Sunday
it feels...
brunches are off the table.
Well, but
It's fall stuff.
I just, you know what? 68 in this or 92 and humid. I'll take the 68 every time.
Not even close. So just to put a bow on this quarterback playing time discussion. So we think did he confirm 2 series for Darnold?
No, I actually asked that. I said, do you have a perfect world like Darnold plays this much? And he's like, he referenced his own career and said, I don't like to do that because I remember being told, okay, Kevin, you've got the third quarter of this game, no question about it. And then he's like, the third quarter would come and go and I wouldn't play.
Yeah.
So I would call it this game flow. My personal opinion is Darnold gets at least 2 series. That might take up the entire first quarter. And then McCarthy gets 2 quarters. Like that's the really cool thing here is the one thing that we know is they're not worried about McCarthy being hurt. Like you don't have that. You can't think like that. Like with Darnold, you can think, well, we don't want to lose this guy because he's going to start the opener. With McCarthy, this is actually a playing time. Like these preseason games, in my opinion, with how he's being handled, are incredibly valuable because they're instructive to you and they are great game experience for him.
If you're Matthew Stafford or if you're Patrick Mahomes or some established quarterback that has a Super Bowl, or even Kirk Cousins, who never came close to a Super Bowl, but you knew who he was, the value of preseason reps did not outweigh the risk of getting injured.
No question.
When you're 21, 22 years old and you're entering the league, I think that you need reps. You need live bullets, something close to game speed, which preseason isn't like a full simulation of what you would face in week 1 against the Giants. But yeah, I'm with you. You can't really think about that.
And playing a bunch of guys that probably previously the last 2 years with O'Connell as coach didn't play, to me, again, is putting an emphasis on the fact that I think O'Connell, I don't know, regrets is the right word. I think he thinks he was too soft. Like, I think they tried to protect players, but at the end of the day, I think they thought that they protected them too much. But that's why, the Jefferson thing is smart, but you will notice there is a purposeful attempt to take stuff off his plate because he doesn't need a ton of work. Like, he doesn't need to be tougher. He needs to just be himself. So there's a fine line here, but I do think that, when it comes to the offensive and defensive lines, I'd be a little bit surprised. In fact, Aaron Jones, I thought he got a Veterans Day on Wednesday, Phil, and then they were in shorts and shells yesterday, and he didn't practice again, so he might be banged up a bit. I'd be really surprised if he plays. But overall, I think there is a definite emphasis on we probably shouldn't have gone as light on as many guys as we did.
Yeah. By the way, just real quick programming note here. So Declan is double dutying right now. He's just texting us from like the Twins clubhouse that there's a boatload of Twins roster moves coming, and Derek Falvey, the GM, is going to address media. So Declan is questionable for the snake draft.
Okay.
I think we should still do a snake draft, and maybe we pull in. I'm looking at the comment section. I think what we might do is, like, if Declan can't go, we will randomly select someone from the YouTube comment section to draft on behalf of the listeners, which maybe we should do that anyways every week. Just have four
Sounds good to me.
People drafting. So we'll figure that out as we go forward here. All right, so that's the kind of the quarterback plan. What else does Judd's camp notes have from yesterday?
So after back-to-back days in pads. So there have been a lot of days in full pads. They're off today, the game tomorrow. Yesterday was in shorts and shells. So it was not the plethora of camp notes to which we have become accustomed to because they don't do as much. Looking through my notes here, Aaron Jones was not back. And when Aaron Jones, as I said, if he doesn't play on Saturday, Ty Chandler gets work, Kene Nwangwu gets work, which I think is interesting because he's beginning to sort of separate himself, and they're going to keep another back. The Nwangwu thing was very similar to the Naylor problem, which was, dude, we want to give you a chance and you're never healthy, right? He got hurt. He had the back last year.
Help us help you.
Yes,
Come on now.
yes, but we like you. Like, we want to use you. So I would say as far as the running backs go, you're going to see early on Ty Chandler for sure. My guess is he starts, and then Nwangwu as well. Jonathan Grenard, I think, got a Veterans Day off on Wednesday. Was back on Thursday. Let's go through the quarterbacks, okay? So let's look at the quarterbacks because that's what we do here on Judd's Camp Notes. Breaking it down. Sam Darnold again, all of the first team work, 18 snaps. The practice itself was shorter too. So like it's not the snaps aren't off. They just shortened up the practice because it was not as intense as the past couple days. 13 of 16. But I did some charting on individual, like the stats themselves. Darnold yesterday, 4 for 4 to Jefferson. And again, a variety of passes. This is clearly going to be a, hey, I can throw you the ball and you'll catch it if I get it anywhere near you. The other one that was interesting, and we probably haven't talked about this enough, and I feel like it used to be a gag, but now it's not. Johnny Munt, 2 for 2. Now, all of this came in 7 on 7. So all of these passes are supposed to be completed. It doesn't mean that they necessarily are.
There's no pass rush. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the quarterback is, but as far as the timing goes and things, I think that's what you try to read into this is how is the timing, and the Johnny Munt, the first catch, which would have gone for a touchdown over the middle. Theo Jackson had his hands, and he's been unbelievable, had his hands on the ball, and he and Munt contested ball. Munt ripped it away from him.
Oh,
Johnny Munt's had, dare I say, Johnny Munt's had a really good camp. Like, I don't know if it's going to translate. He clearly is playing the Hawkinson role, so there's plenty of footballs coming to him. But that guy, it's impressive. And do not think for 1 second, unless they do a complete rope-a-dope, don't think that when the season starts that it's going to be no Hawkinson and Josh Oliver getting the ball a ton. He has caught some passes, but he is there to block. So like Johnny Munt is playing the Hawkinson role.
Yeah.
Oliver was never signed to catch passes. He can, but like they're not going to alter his role. So Johnny Munt right now, Nick Muse behind him, those are your week one pass catching tight ends. Oliver might catch a few, but Munt has really shined. It's been impressive.
Yeah, well, he knows the system better than, I mean, he's, first of all, third year with Kevin O'Connell here, but then in Los Angeles, he was with Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay. So we joke about him, the best third string tight end in the NFL, but when he's been asked to step into that role, he can catch passes, and he's been an asset. So do we have any idea yet how long TJ Hawkinson is going to be out for? Is it going to be like the first month? Is it going to be like the first half of the season? Looks like he's progressing pretty well, and Kevin O'Connell has spoke highly of his rehab, but do we have any inkling?
I'd be completely guessing, but I will say he's out there rehabbing every day, and it does look like he's cutting, which coming off a torn ACL and MCL is the most important thing. Because, I mean, that's really the question is not can you run straight line? The question is can you cut? And then I guess the question becomes what's the healing process? So if you do get hit again in that knee, you don't have a reoccurrence. But I would say, complete guess on my part right now, he's back after the bye week.
Yeah.
Okay. It's positive. It's positive. So that would be my guess. But if they can get by with Munt and he can catch some passes, that's a bonus, because the problem without Hawkinson is you don't need to have a guy replace him completely, but you need to have a guy that can at least help out, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I would say post-bye week probably, just to be safe.
Before we keep digging through Judd's camp notes here, just want to answer 2 questions from the comment section. Says, are you guys doing a vent line after the game? So a couple years ago, we did do some post preseason game vent lines that like no one really showed up for compared to regular season. Because by the time you get to the end of a preseason game, it's a bunch of third stringers and there's really nothing. So what we do for the preseason is we do a Sunday morning episode, and we might even just go live on Sunday morning so you can hang out with us, over brunch or whatever. But no vent lines for the preseason games. If you're new to Purple Daily, by the way, maybe this offseason, Vikings Vent Line is the post-game show to be part of. It's live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel right after each Vikings game. It's the most fan-friendly show in the entire Minnesota sports spectrum. But we'll be doing the Sunday morning recaps for the 3 preseason games. And then, let's see here. HBK 15111 says, can you make the subject of the snake draft public here so listeners can start scouting? That's a fair ask. If we do tap into the listeners here, it's your favorite chips. It's a snake draft of the best chips, and we're going brand. All brands and all flavors are in play.
Yep.
So if all of us draft a particular flavor of Pringles and it's just a Pringles across the board, all brands and all flavors are in play. That's the snake draft.
Okay. And I do have a very important question when the draft begins, but I don't want to throw
Is it about
out.
Bugles?
No, but it is going to be
a bugle a chip?
But it's a question that could alter the draft itself, but for competitive reasons, I don't want to throw it out until the draft starts.
No, Judd. Ahi tuna crisps are not chips. Is that what you were going to ask?
Well, that's your cross to bear. That's going to be on your gravestone. If you have a gravestone.
I probably won't. I
don't think I'll have a gravestone. I think I'm going cremation.
It can be on the, what do you call it? The urn. What do you put the ashes in?
Urn, yeah.
But
I don't think it should be. I don't know if you get an inscription on your urn. That's a good question.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So
you can. You just pay a little extra.
Here lie the ashes of a man who completely mistook what a bar appetizer is.
By the way, part of Feedback Friday here, since you brought it up, this is from Trey Krybik, I believe. Hope this email finds you well. I went out for dinner with my girlfriend, who's not a football person yet, but is now asking specific questions about Judd's camp notes. That's great. Wow. For our 1-year anniversary, we went out to dinner. On the menu, I saw ahi tuna crisps, so I naturally had to give them a try. After doing so, I am now fully on board with your pick, as they were delightful.
They're good. They're great.
However, this place was a nicer establishment rather than a dive bar, so I can see it both ways. Thanks for giving me content to get me through the day at my accounting job.
First of all, what is your girlfriend asking about? Like, how do you? It's a rare jump to go from I don't care about football to what does Judd have in his camp notes?
What was he saying about the punting competition?
That's a rare jump.
So, by the way, I still contest that at no point during that snake draft did we say dive bar. It was bar appetizers. You guys are inserting the word dive into the equation here. I don't think it was
okay, but I still think I would have thought of higher brow stuff if it had been restaurant appetizers. When you say bar, I think bar food.
Okay.
It's like if we had said restaurant, I'm in. Because here's the distinction. Ahi tuna crisps are awesome. So like if people thought we mocked you because of your tastes, that had nothing to do with it.
I feel like
your list was great for a restaurant.
You guys were leaning into the idea that I only eat white collar appetizers.
We did. But what I'm saying is restaurant apps, yeah.
If they don't have something fresh from the sea, then Mackey's out.
That's sort of how it sounded. Yeah, that's exactly how it sounded. Okay, last part of Judd's camp notes from Thursday's practice. JJ McCarthy got all the second team, or he got the second team work. Now actually, Jaron Hall and Mullins got some snaps. But what's interesting here, or I guess anecdotally, JJ McCarthy got, I think this is the first time in camp this has happened. JJ McCarthy got more snaps than Darnold did. So Darnold got 18 snaps, 13 of 16. McCarthy got 25 snaps, 15 of 22, picked off by Bobby McCain in 7-on-7, threw a gorgeous ball, I believe it was, to Jalen Naylor, deep sideline route, corner, touchdown pass, absolutely in stride. McCarthy's arm talent, if you're going to watch two things in the game, I would say watch this. Arm talent, because that guy can spin the ball, and athleticism. And I don't mean like just scrambling because he's in trouble. I mean the ability to actually take off, reset the pocket, move around, make throws. So that would be, those would be two things from McCarthy's standpoint. If you're trying to see what he's doing and sort of what's different about him. Arm strength, because I feel like coming out of college, that was sold way short.
Yeah.
From the first day of spring camps, his arm, it's like, whoa, I didn't know about that.
Well,
so those are the two things to watch.
The athletic thing is such an unknown because he didn't unleash it very often at Michigan. You know, there was that highlight clip against Alabama where he's running away from Dallas Turner, and Dallas Turner is one of the fastest edge rushers in college football.
Yep.
But he did not run a public or a scouted clocked 40-yard dash before this draft process. When you look up like J.J. McCarthy 40-yard dash, the only thing that comes up is he reportedly, before the 2023 season, ran a sub 4.54. He ran a 4.48 40, which, by the way, for a quarterback is moving. Ty Chandler ran like a 4.35. And J.J. McCarthy reportedly a year ago, at some point before Michigan's title run, ran a 4.48. I don't know where that came from, but he did not participate in the 40-yard dash in the combine or the pro day or anything like that. And, you know, Michigan was mostly him handing the ball off, classic sort of drop back. But yeah, like you see these little bursts in practice where you watch him scoot out of the pocket. I wonder once he gets into some of these preseason games or regular season games, does it just look different? Does he have more of a burst? Are those legs going to be much more of a weapon? I mean, Josh Allen became this crazy athletic weapon in the running game. Justin Herbert can scoot around too. I wonder if he's a guy that's going to run for 50 yards a game or more and keep a bunch of plays alive.
He might at first. Like, I think ideally when he gets into the prime of his career, he doesn't have to. But what I love is the ability to move and make throws. He looks like, and I'll actually be, now that you mention it, watching for this on Saturday, you want to talk about football. He looks like a guy who can use his legs, but keep his eyes downfield. So I don't know that he's necessarily looking to run, but I think he's definitely, and I told you there was a team drills 11-on-11 a couple of days ago where he was scrambling to his left or to his right. And he actually, and it's not ideally fundamentally, but it's impressive. He was trying to get around a guy. He sort of like jumped off his feet and made a really nice pass, which goes to his arm strength because he didn't have, I don't think he was planted. So like that was all arm. Is that like perfect world pass? No, but if you can improvise and make plays, as we all know, that's a nice skill set to have.
Russell Wilson is frustratingly like that over his career, where it's like sometimes you got to play within like the timing of the way that the play is drawn up. But you know, he was, in terms of using your athleticism and your legs and your speed, but not to run for 100 yards. Like Lamar Jackson is oftentimes looking to run the ball for 80 yards in a game, and it works well for him.
Yes, it does.
Russell Wilson and even Josh Allen, those guys are looking to just move to a different place behind the line of scrimmage to find someone 25 yards down the field. So, yeah, excited to watch that for sure. So, all right, Judd's camp notes.
Those are Judd's. A lot of 7-on-7.
Yeah.
Shorts and shells notes. They are not to be confused with the excitement that comes in the football, just hitting each other, the snot that flies around in full padded practices.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to meet Judd's camp notes in person, if you want to put her in the old vice and shake hands with Judd's camp notes.
Yep.
So there's still a few spots open for the party at Padrick's Brewing in Minneapolis. That's kind of northeast Minneapolis. So next Wednesday, August 14th, we're bringing Purple Daily. It's going to be just kind of a private, low key, for the audience that's there only podcast recording where we go through some Judd's camp notes. We interact with you guys, the audience. The event is only open to 100 people, and we still have some spots left. It's free, but we ask that you do register to attend at scorenorth.com/party, scorenorth.com/party. Everyone who attends is going to get a Score North and Padres custom pint glass filled with Padres beer. So we're looking forward to it next Wednesday.
They're very, very cool. We just saw them. And that's right. Sports Dad has a new beer, Padres. I got the red here. I got the blonde here. Found actually now too, Phil, I should mention this, in liquor stores throughout the metro, including Lund's and Byerly's. Padres. Look for it. It's in the cooler, which is great.
Yes, it's I've dabbled and it's fantastic. Again, scorenorth.com/party. Speaking of parties, the Renaissance Festival, Minnesota Renaissance Festival, is coming to town here August 17th through September 29th. You can throw axes. You can wield swords. You can watch live armored combat jousting. The food options. I've a bunch of, like, Tom Bernard and a bunch of our media friends were out there yesterday for kind of the soft open. The turkey legs that you reference.
I love a big turkey leg, man.
Phenomenal.
Great.
Nordic meatballs, pork belly, burnt ends, beer and wine, 16 stages of entertainment. You can also bring your family. There's all sorts of incredible fun family attractions, rides, over 50 games to play. Discounted tickets at renaissancefest.com. That's renaissancefest.com. Let's get to the feedback here, and then we'll do some snake drafting.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with John Solberg. Judd mentioned recently that his notebook was filled and he would have to be installing a new notebook.
Mm-hmm.
What does Judd do with many years of used camp notebooks? Am I imagining that he has a notebook archive in his office where notebooks rest in peace and are on display? If not, consider this my application to be Chief Football Training Camp Notebook Archivist. I know Judd doesn't like people in his house, so I promise to work quickly, neatly, and quietly. I am a retired 64-year-old teacher, so if Judd is the sports dad, I am the sports grandpa, and we will have lots of heartbreaks to talk about while I establish the Judd's Training Camp Notebooks Archives.
Wow. Well, that's a very interesting question because, first of all, I go to the store and I buy, these puppies, which are great, like the old reporter's notebooks, simple to carry. I have a ton. Now, I've thrown them away as well. But I came across some from when I was taking notes at the age of 19. So there's a wide array here.
And you still have, and those,
I've still got
you
some
didn't
of
throw
those.
those away. Okay.
Yeah. Well, partially when God rest her soul, when I lived at home, my mom saved everything, much to Dawn's dismay.
Yeah.
And so I literally have stuff from when I was 18 and 19. So yes, there is a large array of notebooks that still exist. I don't know that you can read them, but you're welcome to them.
I've got a bunch from when I covered the Twins beat and then the Vikings before then, from 2006 through 2012.
Those would be fun to look at. See, I think I've tossed most of those.
Yeah.
I think I started to toss them, but I found some stuff from like when I was covering high school hockey games in '89.
Gosh. Yeah, I think, man, because we've moved so many times. We moved cross country a couple times.
It's hard not to throw stuff away. And I should throw way more, but I'm a pack rat, so.
It's also just fun to have some of that stuff. And if you find a notebook the day that something big happened, I don't know. It's kind of I'm a nostalgist. Will Carr says, "Greetings, fellas. I'm writing you from beautiful Huron, South Dakota, home of the world's largest pheasant." All right.
Nice. Huron.
I, like many others, enjoyed watching Kirk Cousins play at times, but was glad to see him leave. He was not going to be taking us to the promised land, and I'm pumped for the future. My question for you all is, during training camp practices, does the offense appear to be similar, and dare I say even better than the previous seasons with Kirk at the helm? I'm interested to hear how the offenses compare.
Very close. But so the whole thing about trying to emphasize the run more should change that a bit. but I don't think it's because O'Connell has like shifted philosophy as far as what the structure of the offense is. I think it's because they need to be more diversified. Are there going to be things eventually that you can do with McCarthy you couldn't do with Kirk? Absolutely. Can you do those things with Darnold? Probably not. So I think with McCarthy, it will change. It will look different because he has a skill set that Kirk didn't have. And that's probably going to be used a bit more. But I would not say don't expect like some drastic change. O'Connell hasn't changed his philosophy.
Yeah.
He is smart enough to make alterations.
It's the same playbook
Yeah.
with maybe more emphasis on the run, and obviously
It's like if you put a patch on jeans, right? You've covered up the hole, but you haven't changed the jeans.
Sure. Well, and he's always been really good, KOC, about, hey, this is my playbook and my scheme, my system, and this is the opponent we're playing this week. Kirk, or whoever the quarterback is, which plays do you feel most comfortable with? Which plays do you not like to run?
Right.
There's going to be some stuff that Kirk wasn't comfortable with that maybe Darnold or J.J. McCarthy are more comfortable with. So,
Right.
okay, Clarence says, hello. My family and I went to see Vikings training camp, and as I have heard on your show, Judd is out there taking notes. I was excited to use my binoculars at camp this week and try to spot another Vikings great on the beautiful football practice facility. Not only did we see KOC, J.J. McCarthy, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Harrison Smith, and many more great players. As we were looking out from the stands, my girlfriend, who I dragged to draft parties in the past, pointed out 10 feet in front of where we were sitting and said, "Is that Judd?" It took us a couple minutes to verify, but we did. My grandpa even asked, as I'm taking pictures of Judd, he sent in a couple pictures of Judd with his little camp notes.
Me
your
slinked over like when I'm writing.
Your little Padre shirt.
Yep.
Is he some kind of guru? I responded to my grandfather, "You damn right he is." Anyways, I shouted several times both Judd and Sports Dad, but sadly Judd never turned around or returned any recognition as far as I can tell. Not gonna lie, it hurts a little bit, but I know that he was taking notes for our fellow Vikings fans and those who couldn't make it to training camp this
I didn't
year.
hear him. I had a guy come up to the, and you can't. So first of all, Phil, as you know, the majority of practice is conducted on that field one close to the stands, and we stand right below there. So we're sort of cut off from some of the stands.
Yeah.
I had a guy come up to the railing and yell something about camp notes and acknowledged him. If you don't come up to the railing, it's such a mixture of noise. You can't hear much. And the biggest thing is this. There are so many children yelling, "JJ, Justin Jefferson, hit the gritty." That's all I can hear now. So like, I apologize.
People are just
I did not purposely
screaming at Justin Jefferson the entire
hit the gritty. I did not turn around to acknowledge you, not because I was trying to be rude, but because I probably honestly did not hear you. Because the guy who came up, he's like, camp notes, because he came up on Wednesday. He's like, "I love camp notes," and I said, "They'll be exciting tomorrow. Can't wait." And then on Thursday, same guy, I said, "Don't expect as much on camp notes because this ain't that exciting."
Dude, when I was there like a week ago, and there's the VIP fan section where I don't even know how that works. Like there's the fans in the media are kind of in the same area for some of the VIP fans.
Yeah. Yes.
And a guy comes up, and I think another guy was talking to you, and love the show. You guys are doing such a great job. And he goes, "I have no idea how you guys make money though." And I was like, it's awfully personal, but I said, I mean, podcasts are pretty popular in 2024.
These sponsors that we appreciate so much, they don't we're not just arbitrarily picking them out.
Well, there are cases where we enjoy using a product or something.
Oh, but I'm just saying we didn't
comes to fruition. But
we didn't just decide, hey, here's who we're gonna have as our sponsors, and that's the business.
Yeah, I didn't even know what to say. I'm thanks.
You
man.
should have said, "Me neither."
Yeah, I know it's great. It's magic. I don't know.
Nuts. Glad my wife has a good job.
So, okay, Arvidian says, just curious about training camp back in the Mankato days and Hibbing before my time. So they were in Hibbing before Mankato? Like back in the...
No. Bemidji.
Oh, in Bemidji.
Farther up.
Yeah.
They were way up.
When did they start Mankato? Bud Grant?
Mid-60s.
So like early 60s, they were in Bemidji?
Yeah, the Norm Van, like the first 5 years or so, they were in Bemidji, and then they moved down to Mankato probably mid-60s.
Okay.
Bemidji's a long ways away, by the way. That's a ridiculous
That's
trek
4 hours, man.
if you're staying in the state.
So Arvidian says, just curious about training camp. Back in the Mankato days, the team would live, eat, and breathe football in the dorms. Yeah, they'd stay in Gage Hall in Mankato.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
They'd be all together day and night with curfews. They'd be on little bicycles riding around campus.
Yep.
What happens now? Now that they're in Egan at TCO, do they go home at night? How does that work? So some of the younger players just stay in that hotel or whatever, right?
Yes. I asked this question last year or 2 years ago, and I think what I was told is at the start of camp, I think they all stayed there, but then as camp carries on, the veterans can go home. Yes, I mean, it's not the same, and there is a gorgeous hotel that the Wilfs own, the Vikings Lakes Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Right across from where the facility is, where if you are a player coming in who does not have a home here, you can stay. But like if the point is, hey, is the camaraderie is good? The answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
I was talking to a couple of veteran Vikings folks this year at training camp, and we all agreed at the end of the day, Mankato was great because you could just go there, you drive to practice, but like that was it, right? And it was just football. It was a festival of football, and your focus never waned. Now,
it's hilarious. Do you see all these players at the chain restaurants, and man, you'd be out to dinner at night, and you'd go to like Red Lobster, and you would just see the defensive linemen housing Cheddar Bay biscuits or whatever.
I miss it though. Like I do miss that. I miss that just focus on football. Now it's like you go home, it's fine, but I mean, I would, from a sole purpose of driving, I would rather drive to Mankato and then make the short trek from the hotel to the practice field than to haul my ass from St. Louis Park to Egan every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, the American, man, the American was just a few steps away.
You and Pelissero.
That's right. It's funny.
Stories.
Pelissero was texting me a couple days ago he's been like going to all these training camps and stuff. So just for the audience that doesn't, Tom Pelissero, Judd and I worked together for several years at 1500 ESPN Radio, Pelissero from NFL Network. And he was texting me last week from an American. I think he was part of like the Delta travel cluster bleep and just had to like grab a hotel near somewhere.
Oh, okay, probably, yeah.
And he sends me a couple photos of like the pool area and a hot tub. He goes, when's the last time you stayed at an American? Mankato? 2010? Like, yeah. Probably
because they're ordinarily just in small towns too. The Vikings moved to Mankato in 1966.
Okay.
So a year before Bud. Van Brocklin's last year.
Okay. Adam Hall says, has Phil enjoyed Kenny Albert's call of the water polo matches at the Olympics? It's funny. I had a water polo match on this morning that Kenny Albert was calling.
Now is Kenny
is
Kenny one of the ones who's there, or is he doing it from Stamford, Connecticut, where NBC studios are based? Because there's a bunch of people doing play-by-play and work from Stanford who didn't go to Paris.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, he's such a pro. If he's doing it from some studio thousands and thousands of miles away, 7 hours away, you couldn't tell, man. I mean, he's ramping it up. You know, coming up next on Peacock, it's the United States and the Netherlands in a bronze medal water polo match for the ages.
Hey, man, he's Marv's kid. I mean, Marv had his faults, we found out in the 90s. But I mean, you talk about the most versatile family of broadcasters, right?
Yeah. It's great.
Basketball, hockey on radio, TV, basketball, same thing. Mix in some baseball, do a football schedule. Like Marv and Kenny, it's remarkable that they've had basically the same career paths.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you can do water polo, hockey, and NFL all at a really high level.
I don't even know a thing about water polo.
That would be the challenge, like the vernacular and the names, and you're not just doing United States matches. You're doing like some of these countries where it's not native and easy to pronounce the last names of players. Like just learning all that. Man,
just a little bit off topic of play-by-play. What do you think it's like to be Kenny Albert's tax guy? Like, think about the amount of places he works for. Fox, NBC,
Peacock,
TBS, MSG, radio stuff.
And then if he's working in different states, right? How does that work? If he's pure freelancing and he's doing, let's say he's doing a playoff series over in this state, right? How does that work?
Well, and that's the thing, like about baseball, like about pro sports, I don't get. So, like, if you're a baseball player and you go play a 3-game, if you're a Yankee and you play a 3-game series here, you're taxed here. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, dude, that's a great question.
Like, when I go on a trip, if I do Score North stuff, I don't have to declare it to the state in which I'm working.
Yeah. It's very confusing. I don't know. You know what's not confusing? If you've been injured unexpectedly, what you should do is not confusing. You should reach out to Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily. Russell Nicolay, huge fan of the Purple, big supporter of Minnesota sports teams. And his team, by the way, they live in Twin Cities communities around the state, around the metro area. They're just your normal everyday folks, the ones you see at the gas station, walking the dog, maybe at a preseason game tomorrow. But they're normal folks who happen to have law degrees, and they're here to help you get the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay. You can start your path to winning at nicolaylaw.com or give them a call at 1-855-NICOLAY. Okay, so we're getting live updates here. Dex is not going to make it for this snake draft. He is currently in Rocco Baldelli's office talking to the manager.
Updates, then Falvey's talking.
There's a lot happening.
Doesn't sound good to me.
So let's pick a random person from the YouTube comment section. We're not going to be able to bring you on camera because we'd have to send you a link and it would just be kind of a whole thing. So if you would like to participate in the snake draft here, your favorite, or it's either your favorite or however you want to play it. It's the best chips. Every brand, every flavor.
Yep.
Is open to be drafted here. I know Judd has a question that he wants.
I do have a question.
Some clarification.
But I do have a question.
But just literally say me or I want to participate.
There's one.
And we'll just let some of you stockpile these, and then what is your question before I pick somebody randomly here?
Is a cracker a chip?
No.
Okay. That's what I figured, but I just want to
make
sure.
But there are some.
I didn't want to pass on
like,
Ritz. Just in case I didn't want to pass on Ritz.
Now, Cheez-Its has some like crisps that might qualify. I would say if it's in a box, chip is usually in a bag or in some sort of cylinder, right? Like Pringles are in a cylinder.
Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah,
but that's a good question.
Good point.
Because what's the difference between like a Sun chip is kind of a weird wavy chip, and then
that's definitely a chip because if your definition is what it's packaged in, then you're right.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because I didn't want to pass on Ritz because I love Ritz crackers.
Okay, I am gonna randomly select here. I'm gonna turn my head away, and I'm just scrolling up and down, and we're gonna pick, and whoever we pick is gonna wind up being. You're going to have to like put your draft picks in the comment section, and then we're going to have to like sift through. So we'll figure that out. But all right, here we go. Okay. Congratulations, Elijah Torek. You are replacing Declan in the snake draft here. Elijah might have also just commented the most here, which congratulations on your strategy. So here's how this is going to work. Okay. Because Declan was supposed to get the first overall pick. Yep. Elijah's going to get the first overall pick.
Okay.
And don't put your first overall pick in the comment section yet because we haven't started yet. Yep. And if you do right now, I'm not going to see it. So it's going to go Elijah, me, Judd with the third pick. It's a 3-round snake draft. And then Judd, you get the wraparound, so you'll draft first in the second round.
Yep.
And then Elijah will round out the second round and get the first pick in the third round. So here we go. With that, let the snake draft of the best chips commence Elijah from the YouTube comment section, you are on the clock. Good luck to us sifting. You can see these comments, right, Judd?
Tom Roller, Quasi if chip selection will trade his pick.
Tom, shouldn't you be at Target Field right now?
Tom might not be working.
Are you
Both
not?
games.
Are you not working today?
It's a splitty. He's probably got the 7:00 game.
Yeah, people are buzzed. Says encouraging spam texting in the chat. Phil, yeah, that's probably what happened. So okay, Elijah, you get 20 more seconds to make your pick. Otherwise, we have a 2003 draft situation where you will miss your pick.
There, he just went Doritos Cool Ranch.
Okay, Elijah's going Doritos Cool Ranch. What are your thoughts on that selection, Judd?
It's solid. I like a lot of chips. I'm not a chip snob. So like there's a few, I guess there's a few I don't like the residue that they leave on your hand.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
But taste wise, it's hard for me to not like chips. I think there's just and you can put, the great thing about chips is you can slather them up with some salsa or something. Like you can take an average chip and make it pretty good.
And I want to be clear too, like salsas are not draftable. Guacamole, sauces, dips are not draftable here. So your chip stands alone on its own merit.
Right.
Without like a queso dip.
But I'm not a chip snob. No. All right.
Okay. With the second overall pick, and I'll be honest, I was going to draft Cool Ranch Doritos with my first pick. I'm going to go classic cheese Doritos. Classic cheese Doritos with my first overall pick here, Judd. You can't really go wrong. One time I told you this story. It was
That's
probably
a lot of residue right there.
It's fine. I'm
a lot of
residue. The residue is fine with me. Doritos, I think they abandoned this after maybe a year experiment, but I told you once, like 8 or 9 years ago, some friends and I went out to Door County, Wisconsin, and we had like an Airbnb or something. And at one of the gas stations in Sister Bay, they had Doritos Roulette. It was a bag of Doritos where I don't remember what the exact ratio was, but like 9 out of every 10 chips was a classic cheese Dorito. And then 1 out of every 10 was like the hottest chip you could put in a Doritos bag without getting in trouble with the law.
I don't.
Doritos, and they all looked alike.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No. And the hot chips I hate. So, yeah. Yeah. I will say this. I'm a chip snob on hot chips.
Okay.
Like if I want hot food, I ain't going to get it through a chip. A chip should complement my palate, not offend it.
All right. Judd gets back-to-back picks here to wrap the first round and to start the second round.
Okay. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go Pringles.
Just like
classic
Pringles?
Classic
like
Pringles.
Plain Pringles. Okay.
Classic Pringles. And here's partially why. I love the cylinder. Because the cylinder gives you license to just like a chip bag is great because you can reach in, right? But the cylinder, you like dump 6 in your hand, you devour them, right? Then it's eight more.
I'm not a big cylinder guy because my hand doesn't fit far enough into the cylinder.
You got to dump them out like from.
Yeah, but then then they break up, and by the time you get to the bottom of the cylinder, you got a bunch of like half chips in there.
Yeah, then you go like that. Upend them. Cylinder. I love the cylinder. Pringles. My second selection is going to be Sun Chips.
Plain?
Now, as far as that goes, there's a bunch of different kinds. Obviously.
Yeah, you need to give us a flavor though.
All right, look, let me give you. I'm going to look at the list here just to make sure that I've got one that I actually.
Because I'll say this, on my big board, I have a specific flavor of Sun Chips that I may wind up selecting. I'm wondering if you're sniping this from me or.
Fair enough.
Commenters.
Garden salsa.
Oh.
Garden salsa.
Dude. Damn it.
It's good. It's a good Sun Chip.
It's incredible. I almost picked it with my first pick, dude.
So now I got a Pringle, which is the blue collar chip, right? In a cylinder, just a blue collar chip. And then I go to the high tax bracket with the Garden Salsa Sun Chip.
Okay. All right, that puts me back on the clock. Elijah, you're on deck here. Somebody says, did Mackie just admit to not knowing how to operate a Pringles chip can? No, of course you can like dump them out, but it's just there's a lot going on. Okay. Boy, I was totally going to draft Garden Salsa Sun Chips next, so Judd sniped me. Okay, I'm going to pivot here. We're going to go cheddar and sour cream ruffles.
Oh.
Cheddar
I do
and
love
sour
Ruffles.
cream ruffles.
I do love Ruffles. Yeah.
Fantastic. Like really thin, narrow ridges. Sometimes you get the ones with a little extra cheese residue
Yep.
on top. So give me the cheddar and sour cream ruffles. Let me just write that down here. Cheddar and sour cream. All right, that puts Elijah back on the clock. Elijah says, "Wow, did I just snipe one of your picks?" Yeah, there it is. Sorry, Elijah.
A Ruffle is good.
No, he's
I'm not going to lie.
So
I'm not
Elijah
gonna
now
lie.
has back-to-back picks to wrap the second round and then to start the third round. These are your last two picks. We'll give you 30 seconds. But it's tough when someone snipes a chip like that from you. It's
Yep. Well, it just happened to you, and then it just happened to Elijah.
Yeah. You know, in the Hubbard cafeteria, they do have the garden salsa sun chips, and they also have the cheese sun chips, which are pretty good. It's always kind of a buzzkill, though.
What is that?
Okay. When they run out of the garden salsa ones,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to settle for.
Gotcha.
How do you feel about salt and vinegar? People keep saying salt and vinegar here. You a salt and vinegar guy?
Yeah. That I don't mind at all.
Okay. All right, Elijah with his second pick. He's going the Kettle brand salt and vinegar. Are you a Kettle brand guy?
Not huge. Again, I don't mind it. Like I wouldn't if the bag was handed to me, I'm taking a few.
Yeah.
But it's not the Kettle brand itself is not my top one.
Love me some Kettle brand.
Okay.
I might even go with a Kettle brand to wrap here. Okay. And we'll give Elijah another
I don't mind
20 seconds to make his last pick in the 2024 Purple Daily Favorite Chip Snake Draft. And with his third pick, Elijah is going with an oldie but a classic, straight up plain Lay's potato chips. Your thoughts?
Oh, incredibly solid. Bravo for, you know what? That's the throwback chip. Like you have introduced the throwback, like the Twins will wear their 1961 jerseys. This is like that. I love a plain potato chip.
I feel like it's also whenever you're in a situation where you're getting like a boxed lunch or something, you're at a conference or somewhere, or it's always the bag of chips, the small bag of chips that they put in with your little like turkey sandwich or something, or your ham sandwich. Just a bag of plain Lay's potato chips. Okay, that puts me back on the clock here. I am also going to draft a bag of Lay's, but I'm not going plain Lay's because those are off the board. Give me sour cream and onion Lay's. Maybe the messiest chip of all the chips available here.
But worth it.
100% worth it.
Yep.
Wash your hands afterwards.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I think that this is still on the board technically, so I will
The last pick here. This is it.
I will take this. It's a throwback chip a little bit, but just the Cool Ranch Dorito chip.
No, that was the first pick in the draft.
Oh, that was the first pick. Damn. Crap. I wasn't writing yours down. Oh, boy. Hold on a second here, then.
You think Cool Ranch is making it to the last pick in the chip draft?
Oh, boy. I thought it might have gone.
What is this guy doing?
I was hoping it didn't.
Judd. Like Dex.
There
Judd
he
like the guy in your
There he
fantasy.
is,
You're in like the
Declan.
6th round. I'll take Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
Is Justin Jefferson
Oh
still
my
available?
God. Classic Zolgad right there.
I should have written the rest of them down, and I didn't.
Yeah. That's always a good one.
boy.
It's always a good way.
boy,
So you guys did the draft.
Yeah,
I
we
take it,
pulled
right?
we did a random draw from the YouTube comment section for a third participant.
Oh, I like that.
And listener Elijah took Cool Ranch Doritos with the first overall pick, and then Judd started paying attention after that.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yep. No, I did. I'm guilty. I got my notes here. I was trying to keep up, and then I didn't write down his first pick. All right. So
He's scrambling right now.
So I am.
I have chips on the top of my mind, and I don't even know what all the picks are.
Okay, then you know what? You draft the last chip for me.
He doesn't know what was drafted. He just got here from the clubhouse,
You
right?
can throw out a bunch of names. Well, he'll hit one.
No, Judd, you have to complete your team.
That didn't get drafted.
Did you How do you not know that? How do you not have like a bunch of chips? I have so many chip options.
I do have some chip options, but I guess I didn't have enough chip options.
I'm just gonna throw out some names here, and you guys
Okay.
tell me if these are available.
Okay.
Salt and vinegar, is that on the board still or no?
Salt and vinegar was drafted by Elijah. Sounds like
Yes.
Dex and Elijah were. Yeah.
Were
Tracking.
hot Cheetos drafted yet?
No type of Cheeto has been drafted.
Wow. Okay, that's shocking to me. I
Hot
love
Cheetos
hot
or no,
Cheetos.
no on hot Cheetos.
That would be my last pick, 'cause I know both of you would probably sleep on that pick. That's a great pick. What about Tostitos, just like chips, just normal like chips
So-
for salsa?
No toast. No, and we should clarify just for Dex's sake here that the chips stand on their own. So if
Got
you
it.
do draft Tostitos, that's
Sure.
fine, but you don't get like
The
the
dip.
accompanying dip to go along with it to make it better.
I think
but
Tostitos are a good option.
no Tostitos have been drafted.
Okay.
Fritos have not been drafted.
Fritos haven't been drafted. Dill pickle, has that been drafted?
No flavor of
That
dill
was
pickle
brought
has
up.
been.
That was brought
Dill
up.
pickle's a pretty solid chip. Barbecue chip, has that been drafted?
No brand of barbecue
I
chip.
did. That's a lot of work.
Judd, I've been here for 2 minutes and I just
I don't
named,
really like
I just
that
named
one.
like 4 or 5 different chips.
I don't
Joe,
really
we need,
like that.
Joe, we need
Go on.
a draft pick from you here.
All right, I'll go dill pickle. That's fine.
Just dill pickle.
Yeah, chip. Yeah, it's
Just
good
like
chip.
but like what? Like Lay's? Who makes a dill pickle chip?
Yeah, Old Dutch, Lay's.
Yeah,
Old Dutch.
I know Old Dutch does. Yeah, Old Dutch is great chips.
Okay.
Jalapeno cheddar, also a great chip from Old Dutch.
No. You take your hot chips and you get out of my house. I don't want
So,
any hot chips.
There it is. That's your snake draft of the week. Here's what the rosters look like. As Declan joining us from Target Field, Elijah, guest listener, drafter Elijah winds up with Doritos Cool Ranch, Kettle Brand Salt and Vinegar, and then plain Lay's. Judd winds up with plain Pringles, Garden Salsa, Sun Chips,
Ugh, I hate Sun chips.
Really?
And then-
Hot take, I know.
Old Dutch dill pickle
How can
flavor.
you hate Sun chips?
And then I wind up with Doritos Classic Cheese, Ruffles Cheddar and sour cream, and Lay's sour cream and onion. Those are
Wow.
the picks. You could probably draft, if you wanted to, you could probably draft a team of
Just draft-
undrafted
yeah, I was
free
gonna say,
agents
you've
here,
got-
Dex.
Okay, I can do that. So I will take. I'll just go in my chip order here. I'll take hot Cheetos, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Love Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I will. You said Tostitos was still on the board, correct?
Yep.
Okay, I'll take Tostitos because I just love me some good chips there. And then I will probably finish out with jalapeno cheddar from Old Dutch.
Oh, man. Declan might win.
Yep.
Might
A
win.
UDFA class right there. I
That's
just
it.
got
Ivan
Ivan Pace, Gabriel Murphy. I'm ready to rock here, man. Adam Thielen. I'm ready to. I'm good. I'm all
It's
good.
amazing, man. By the way, this is a good plug for the Score North Twin Show,
Oh, God.
which we're going to record here shortly. Score North Twin Show, YouTube channel, Apple, and Spotify. A bunch of roster moves on the horizon. Biggest series of the season, Twins and Guardians. And then tomorrow, we'll hit you with some bonus feedback Friday on the Purple Daily feed, and we will recap the Saturday early evening preseason game on Sunday morning on Purple Daily here. Daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.